Good evening, fellow YouTubers. This particular video is occurring a lot earlier and sooner than I expected, only because I've been prompted. Now, this refers back to my little rant a couple of days ago, where I was talking about have you had problems with a corporation or a company or a supermarket or any particular organisation which pretty much throws the blame at you for pretty much everything when they don't deliver or when they don't seem to honour what you think that they have implied, certainly through their policies and through their pillars of service, for the customer, etc. Yeah, you get disappointed. Now, okay, where I'm coming from today is I ordered something very simple for my computer. I won't go into the whole story about why I had to, etc., other than my old system failed. It was about 13 years old, and it was limping when I tried to reinstall, and Windows seemed to have complicated the issue by asking, by having to install all the latest versions of things, which haven't been updated for a couple of years. All of a sudden everything was slowing down and groaning to a halt, etc., etc. Anyway, I bit the bullet. I bought a new motherboard and a new hard drive, etc. In fact, they're not even hard drives anymore. They're all SSDs, which surprised me, but I was quite surprised at just how small they are. About the size of a hairbrush, not even that. A stick. I've got something similar. That's the sort of size. I mean, this is not one of them, but this is what they are. They look like a bit of RAM. Anyway, back to my point about why I'm here today. I ordered something very simple because I had to update the whole computer, and it's now got new interface cables. My old system was using DVI cables for my monitors. I thought that would be the same sort of thing. No, things have changed so much. I need what is it called? A display HDMI connection for one monitor, because I like running two monitors. And my second monitor is a normal HDMI. I ordered the cables at the time, not knowing that the display HDMI was actually a different connection fitting, which is not compatible with the normal HDMI. All right, I learnt the hard way. All right, why am I here again? Because back on the 3rd of October, I sought out new cables. I sourced them. I will mention the company that I bought them from. It was MWave, and they had a decent price. They had the length that I needed. I needed something that was about 3 meters, so it can travel through my desk and go to my PC, etc. All right, everything was fine. In terms of I ordered the particular cables. No indication that there was something wrong or anything was amiss. Anyway, that was just the weekend, the day before the long weekend, actually. And then I thought, okay, that might mean I might get it by the following Friday, so about a week's time from when I ordered it. That didn't quite happen. I let it go. I then waited till the Monday. Nothing again. On the system it just says, here's your order number, date ordered, blah, 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 payment status, paid, the status of the order, processing. I then rang up. What's the go? I was then told, it's not in stock. We had to get it from the supplier. Okay. Would have been nice if you would have told me. But on the website it says something about In fact, I don't even remember now what the wording was, but it was pretty much sort of like, order it, we'll take your money, but we're at the mercy of the supplier. Well, all right, I kind of let it go. They said, yeah, it should be within the 10-day period. So by the 13th of October, it should have been in with them and dispatched. All right, I let it go. Bit disappointed. 13th of October goes, no cable. I leave it 2 more days. Still no cable. I thought, well, all right, I'd better make another phone call. Same response, nothing. The website says, something about the supplier, it's on back order. Well, then I said to them, look, I've ordered some stuff actually from China, from AliExpress, that was on the weekend actually, so it was a day or two after. It had already arrived 2 or 3 days prior to when I made this particular phone call. In fact, it was the Friday. So it turned up within about 11 days from when I ordered it. And, their system is they don't take your money, and, and they certainly let you know if the item is in stock, etc., etc., etc. MWave didn't do that, which was disappointing. Now, my argument also was, well, hey, these guys are a computer store. In fact, they're a national computer organisation within Australia, from what I understand. Surely they have the technology to inform the customer that, the ongoing things, almost to the minute, well, maybe not to the minute, but certainly within reasonable time, that, you've ordered something, we don't have it, here's the go. We're placing the order with the supplier, etc., etc. Now, I don't know if I'm doing the wrong thing by comparing it to AliExpress, which is over in China. Do they just have a better system and a better way of keeping the customer informed about what's going on? Whereas these guys pretty much didn't say anything. I then got pissed off. A couple of days later, I then sent an email to their corporate headquarters saying, here's the go. And I said what my issue was. And I got no response, actually, other than, we've received your email and we'll get back to you within 48 hours. Well, 48 hours has come and gone 4 or 5, 6 times, I think, by the time I then made a second email to the corporation saying, this is just a no-go. I'm letting you guys know that there's an issue with me as the customer. I'm saying what I think is a fault. I think this is something you could improve. Not even a response. Now, an acknowledgement, I guess, is what I would have liked. Not an automated acknowledgement, because they are impersonal and you don't really know whether it's being looked after as well. I guess what I'm saying is, and this is a follow-on to my first little video rant, that we don't get informed. Again, the company has all the has the moral high ground, and the customer is just the pawn in the system. That may be the way it is. I'm coming from the old school. I just don't think that that's the way it should work. All customers... Look, these guys are tripping over themselves. Well, companies, I think, are tripping over themselves to try and get your dollars and try and get your sale. At least they should be doing the right thing. Now, I think in my last email to MWave, I said, look, this is not a threat, but I'll be mentioning this online if I don't hear anything from you. As I said, I've sent a second email. I've now waited another 7 days. not a response. However, today I did get an email, not an email, an SMS saying, oh, your order's being processed, we're sending it out. Very good. Okay, it's what I expected. I expected that 20 days ago. But the fact that they haven't even acknowledged anything that I've mentioned or brought up tells me that there's just something wrong with the service in terms of the personal service, to the customer. That's all getting lost. Maybe I'm too much of the old school, and certainly when I was in a position within a company and a corporation, I would pretty much fall over myself saying that I had to let the customer know what was going on the minute I knew that something was happening. Today, these guys just don't seem to do it, and this is what's pissing me off, that it's becoming the standard process. Now, when I ordered my PC a month ago, more than a month ago, I ordered it from another company. I guess I'll mention their name to give them a plug, to say it was PC Case. They had a website, order your, here's your motherboard, here's your power supply, your memory, blah, 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 blah. Put it all in the order. Everything was green. Everything actually told me everything was in stock, where MWave didn't even tell me it was not in stock, which I guess would have maybe made a difference. At least I would have been aware. I'm just pissed off because I don't have my two monitors happening, because with the amount of stuff I do, I just prefer two monitors. So my cabling was just not right. Anyway, that's my issue, but the fact that these guys are just operating so differently, the MWave people are just operating so much differently to what I was expecting. AliExpress is certainly telling you whether stuff is in stock, and we'll send it and we'll ship it and we'll take your money today. Yep, off you go. The PC Case people did exactly the same thing. Yes, I remember the green tick saying yes, in stock, all done. So the minute I ordered it, I think I waited 2 days to get the acknowledgement saying, it's being sent. Perfect. I wasn't expecting it to be done there and then, but at least I got what I thought was a reasonable acknowledgement about the service. All right, so this is what today's little video is about. Highlighting and reinforcing what my earlier video was talking about, saying companies are just getting slack, and they really throw everything back on the poor old customer to say, you guys, you're the problem. MWave was saying, when I did speak to the one person, twice on the phone to say, where's my order? I've not heard anything. The website still says processing. The guy just said, oh, well, the website says, something about, placing the order with the company or whatever, and that's supposed to let me know how they do things. Well, that's kind of like a policy. That's not about what's applicable to me and my order. I don't know whether my particular order for my cable or whatever it is I'm ordering is affected. That's just a global thing saying, oh, you could be affected. Well, I don't want to know if I could be. I want to know if I am affected. And as I said, in today's day and age with computer technology and systems communicating left, right, and centre every 10 seconds. I mean, look, on my mobile phone, I get messages from through email to sort of say, AliExpress has shipped this, AliExpress has done that. It's now with the at the warehouse. It's now going to the supplier. It's now going to. I mean, if in fact, it's a little bit of overload to a degree, but at least I'm informed. I guess I'm just pissed off that some of these Australian companies aren't doing it. Well, I won't make a general rule like that. This one little company isn't doing it, who's got a big profile, and by the profile you would think they would be in the standard that we as a customer are becoming to expect, and a service that we're expecting to be delivered. These guys fell down. So I'm just making it known that this little black duck was not very happy with what occurred. Again, if you've got some thoughts, doesn't have to be about those guys, of course. But if you're experiencing this sort of thing, with your supplier or the people you deal with or the companies you deal with, as I said, again, it could be things like even like Coles and Woolies, whether you order stuff online and you expect it to be delivered in your basket next week, or well, in 2 days' time or the next day or whatever their service is, and it doesn't turn up because it was out of stock and they didn't let you know. Well, I guess this is where I'm coming from. Better information, better feedback to the customer. So if you've got some feedback that you'd like to make mention to me, I'd be pleased to hear from you. All right, that's enough for today. Stay tuned for, I've got a couple of other videos that I'm trying to work on with some old stuff going back to the 60s with our home movies, which I've re-digitized and re-resurrected through a better system, so stuff will be looking better. Anyway, catch you later. Bye.